Here.
Patricia Plonsky. Here. Robert Farley.
Here. Okay, the first, I would ask that I would ask for a motion to amend the agenda that was posted in the board book that was mailed to each of you. And the motion would be to add a resolution under new business authorizing the library to become a member of and adopt a code of regulation and direct the operations director fiscal officer to enter into a membership agreement with CCOG under new business. And also to remove the retiree recognition portion of the agenda, as there are no retirees present this evening. So if I can, so it's been both moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion? All in favor? Aye. I would also make a note that if you see the agenda on item number 10, there is an executive session scheduled, and there is the possibility of action for those of you that are for time and scheduling. There is the possibility of board action coming out of that executive session. With that, I would ask at this time the approval of the minutes of the July 23rd, 2013 board meeting.
So moved. Second.
Move seconded. Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This time, I would ask for public comment. And under this public comment, we would ask that you identify yourself, the community that you live in, and also understand that you'll be limited to 3 minutes in length for your comments. Camille?
Right, if I just stand from here.
You can just stand, Camille. Thank you.
Camille Braley. I just wanted to, on behalf of SEIU, recognize the retirements of Roberta, David, and Diane, and wish them the best and a happy retirement. Just 1 second.
Thank you, Camille. Any other comments? Fran?
Thank you. My name is Fran Mensch, and I live at 3060 Chelsea Drive in Cleveland Heights. Jimmy DeMora lives. The culture of corruption, tawdry behavior, and disrespect for citizens that he and Frank Russo created lives on in the CCPL board in their efforts to sell Telling Mansion at the fire sale price to one individual. The building is ours and belongs to us, the public. I have a copy of an email exchange that begins January 25th, 2011, almost 3 years ago. It documents that the proposed new library on Green Road is a library for Notre Dame, and that the decision to build a new library and sell Telling was a backroom deal a la DeMora and Russo. In this email exchange, attorney Sanjeev Kopter, who was on the CCPL board and the board of Notre Dame, communicates with Sari Feldman, CCPL director, Andrew Roth, the president of Notre Dame, Len Calabrese, who was the CCPL board president at the time, and South Euclid Mayor Georgine Wheelow, who, by the way, is giving away the valuable resources of our community as fast as she can. She has wanted to build condominiums around Telling for many years. This is well documented. Anyway, in this 2011 email exchange, these people are discussing plans for the new library to be a combination of a public library and a library for Notre Dame. They even talk about coordinating the traffic light, and Andrew Roth takes credit for giving Sari Feldman the tip about the land that CCPL bought. It's very cozy and included everyone but the community, the citizens whose lives are affected and who pay for all this. Moving on from DeMora and Russo, some people think that the library board is composed of erudite and skilled individuals, and that their decision about Telling must be right because they are so well qualified. This is not true. Here's an example. At the last board meeting, Mr. Varley spoke of the sale of Telling Mansion as a business decision, as if he were a businessman. My neighbor runs her own beauty shop. She has to take financial risk, use entrepreneurial skills, and manage employees. Cindy is a business person. Mr. Barley is not a businessman. He is a bureaucrat. Specifically, Mr. Barley is a lobbyist for Dominion. There is nothing wrong with making a bad decision. We're all human and we all make mistakes. But there is something wrong with making a bad decision by excluding citizens, those who pay for the decision. And there is something wrong about sticking to that bad decision when people try for over a year to bring you to the table to work together on the best possible decision. You should all know that this master plan and its destructive effects have cost you the goodwill of many in the community. The library should remain in Telling Mansion. I'm submitting my remarks and ask that my comment and the attached documents be included in the minutes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is David Fry, 4840 Hartley Drive, Lyndhurst, Ohio. I come here tonight before you as a...
Excuse me, sir, just 1 second. Can you hear over here?
Yes.
Because we've had complaints that people can't hear. That's why we put the microphone. So
I
if
come
you
here
project
before you
the
tonight as a tax-paying citizen in Lyndhurst, whose tax dollars go to Cuyahoga County. I come to you as a resident of the city of Lyndhurst, and I come to you as a councilman of the city of Lyndhurst, representing some of my constituents. As a taxpayer, it's always been easy to vote yes on library levies and fund what a great asset the Cuyahoga County Library has become to its residents. What I don't understand is why we would spend those tax dollars to uproot a facility that is in the central location of the residents that it serves between Lyndhurst and South Euclid. It is so close to two of the main schools in those cities, Brush High School and Memorial Junior High School. And I have the opportunity on occasion to get into the school or get in the library after work to pick up some materials that I've reserved on the website and notice that the basement of that facility is filled with students doing their homework and accessing the internet on a computer. Some of these students don't have access to the internet at home, and a lot of times their curriculum requires them to do that. So that part, to me, defies a little bit of logic. I'm not sure that I could ever support another library levy moving forward. It appears from an aerial view that there's land available surrounding the facility, so if you wanted to keep the Telling Mansion intact and add to it in the surrounding areas, I think that would be feasible as well. And it also has come to my attention that all of you have received correspondence with Representative Senator Nina Turner and Armin Budish, who have asked us to to try and get together a meeting. So therefore I would ask that you give us time to do that, and that you, when you adjourn into executive session, postpone any action that may come out of that meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Joe Gamatis, Lyndhurst. I am a city councilman as well. As a Lyndhurst City Council member, I want to convey to you what my constituents have made very clear to me. Lyndhurst residents do not want the library to move out of the Telling Mansion. Citizens were never asked if they wanted a new library, but have to pay for the new one. You never informed council of your plans until months after the fact, and you knew this earlier in the year. You have refused to negotiate with council so that the health, safety, and welfare of our community can be protected. That is part of our responsibility as elected officials. Brush High School and Memorial Middle School students can now easily walk to the library from their respective schools. This proposed new location is 1.5 miles away from our high school and middle school, and not easy trek. This move certainly does not afford great accessibility for Lyndhurst residents, and Lyndhurst residents in particular have had no access to the library board's decision-making process. So I'd like to submit this to be read into the records, please. Okay.
Woo! Thank you, Joe. I stand here tonight as a member of the Telling relative. However, I'm going to serve as a voice for over 6 decades of lives this building has enriched. The Telling Mansion is so much more than a library.
Could you speak up a bit? Thank you.
Okay,
Go to the mic.
thank you. Is this better? No?
I don't know if it's on. Is it on?
It's
Is it not on?
I don't think it's on.
I have no idea.
Is there
Anyone that could help her with that, maybe?
It's on, it's on.
Speak.
Any better? Right into it. Okay, and as I said, I'm going to serve as a voice for over 6 decades of lives that this building has enriched. Here are just a handful of the profound memories that this community has. The beauty of that building is stuff of dreams. Each room sets the stage for wonder. The exquisite plasterwork of the wee octagonal children's room, the beamed ceilings throughout. The call to explore this treasure trove made learning all the more appealing. It feels good just to walk in there, let alone sit and read in its beautiful reading room. Cherishing beautiful architecture that is built to human scale makes us better readers, better citizens, and better human beings. This library was not just a library to me, but a refuge where I also became fascinated by history and architecture because of the setting. It provides a truly adventurous experience for children that go beyond the books. A very unique library which made going all more exciting. I only just discovered this little slice of heaven and now they want to close it. I went to the Mayfield Library today and it was terrible. All I wanted was a quiet room to study and it was nowhere to be found. South Euclid was the 3rd library I tried today and it was perfect. It was everything a library should be. The charm and warmth cannot be duplicated at any cost. This is where imaginations are ignited and dreams are born. It was my sanctuary growing up. It is the library that ruined all libraries, epitomizing what a library should be. And some younger comments were, the library is beautiful and amazing, please keep it. This is what a library should be like, not a box. It should look unique and perfect. Please don't move the library, I will love you forever. I'm sure that. And one of my favorites, this is a beautiful place, fit for a hobbit. This building, it enables our youth to dream, contemplate, imagine, and soar into places in their minds that they have no idea are there. Moving the library from Telling Mansion will no longer provide these magical experiences. Its use as a library is truly inspiring and should continue doing so for our future generations. The big box library will serve to inspire no one. Please reconsider the sale of the mansion. Think of the community when this vote is taken. The sale of this public building into private hands will never have the impact as it does serving as a library. Please come to the table with all concerned parties and let's collaborate. Thank you for your time.
Kathy Schaefer. I would like to talk about ethics and morality. To me, it's unethical to leave communities out of the conversation and to ask them to pay for this with their taxes. Lyndhurst was left out. They don't want their name on the library, from what I hear. It's not right to leave the disadvantaged people out who don't have a car or choose not to have a car from getting to the library. No bus line on Somme Center Road, and no bus line no bus, evenings or weekends on Green Road. We have spoken to these people at Telling Mansion who get off the bus. They go there because they like it and they can actually get there. It's not right to leave students such as Brush High School or junior highs with no money, no easy access. Is it too hard to serve them? It's not ethical to tax and not represent. Yes, we need your help from the board. We are the little people, the people who pay the taxes. At the last court hearing proceedings with regards to Telling, I couldn't help but thinking how we are up against powerful library board and big money. Legally, the odds are hard. It's a county library board using a county legal pool going in front of a county judge that the county judge has participated in board appointment. Don't you feel sorry for the tax-paying citizens? And with regards to sustainability, I want to talk about the unsustainability of the proposed plan to sell Telling by the board and the director. It's like you're an old car. You're like an old car. You step on the gas, you putter to a stop, you can't get out of gear. into the 21st century sustainable building practices. You rely on your old go-to. Bring out the bulldozers, dig up the green space. I was suspicious from day one when you said South Euclid has no other green space left for a new building except across from Notre Dame. The project is too big of a footprint for a small space surrounded by a creek and a bioswale. The board needs to get a life and a purpose and vote for repurposing. And don't blame say the South Euclid Mansion Library Group. We had to throw a hissy fit because you won't retrofit. Don't try and say you're green. It's not true. When you have to walk the walk and talk the talk. Thank you.
You want to sell the current South Euclid Lyndhurst branch library and build a new one. We get that. You've made that painfully clear. Ever since you decided you didn't want to renovate and celebrate its uniqueness anymore. Funny how those master plans work. They're kind of fluid, aren't they? It's the 90th anniversary of the Cuyahoga County Public Library system, Mazel Tov. And you're embarking on the biggest building ever. Congratulations. And we'll all be bathed in the 21st century library experience until a few years later, when a new 21st century paradigm comes along and our system will consist of a collection of old 21st century library buildings. The ways of reading are becoming pretty fluid right now too, aren't they? Boutique libraries may become all the rage, and darn, you just got rid of your only specimen. You, Executive Director Feldman, Board President Varley, and the members of the library board won't be remembered for building sparkling new branches or amassing impressive numbers in various categories or receiving numerous awards. You'll be remembered for closing the Telling Mansion Library. Years from now, your names will be brought up under the "what were they thinking" category. Google you in posterity or however we gather information then, and you'll have a short write-up mentioning your tenure with CCPL during a time when it short-sightedly took action that had irreversible consequences. Here's something you'd find on Google today. 50 years ago, a man who made a similar decision said the gain from the new buildings would more than offset any aesthetic loss. 2 years later, on the same topic, the New York Times wrote, quote, "Any city gets what it admires, what it pays for, and what it ultimately deserves. We want and deserve tin can architecture and a tin horn culture. And we will probably be judged not by the monuments we built, but by what we have destroyed." You wouldn't be killing Penn Station. Almost, though.
Excuse me, can you identify yourself, please?
Because I don't think it's working. Me?
Yeah.
Did I miss that? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Jane Cowell, it's on my copy,
Okay,
South
thank you.
Euclid.
Thank you.
Sir, could someone please fix the microphone? It is not working.
It is working, you need to speak into it.
Well, then, when people
Is it
say-
adjustable? Could you maybe make it louder?
Okay, there's been a request. The microphone's working. You need to speak close into it and project into the microphone.
This is a 21st century library. You can't make the microphone work?
Grant, you're out of order.
Thank you.
Well, my name's Catherine Falkenberg. I've got the teacher voice, so I don't think I need the microphone.
Okay, thank you. The audience will be the judge.
Okay.
Tough group.
I've been in tougher groups,
Okay.
trust me. I'm a teacher at Brush High School. I also live in South Euclid, so I have, I think, two different reasons for wanting to see the Telling Mansion survive. It has been, for my two daughters, a place of refuge and solace. They love books, and as Donna put so well, it is a place where the imagination can thrive, and they see much more than just what's in the book, but what's around them. And lately I've been thinking about the state-of-the-art library, which seems as though that's what is wanted now, is desired. And I thought about the state of the art in South Euclid and Lyndhurst, the state of art, and what a beautiful piece of art we have in that Telling Mansion. And to see that lost, and to see more trees destroyed. I also happen to be the Environmental Club advisor as well as the National Honor Society advisor at Brush. So many of my students have just been, they would all like to be here tonight, but they have been dismayed at the thought not only of losing the Telling Mansion, where they can walk from school to work on papers and do research, but also the thought of tearing down more trees. We have lost more trees in the last 10 years than I can imagine. And so losing more trees on Green Road sickens me, and it sickens many of my students. So I just would add my voice to others and say, please give us a chance to convince you that the Telling Mansion can be a viable, wonderful, beautiful library as it has been in the past. Thank you.
I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow my former teacher, Ms. Falkenberg. It's an honor and a privilege to follow her. Sure. All right. So
You may want to tilt it up a little bit.
I'll tilt it up.
Or pull it out of the stand.
I consider myself tech savvy. Good afternoon, President Farley, Executive Director Feldman. Good afternoon, members of the Cuyahoga County Public Library Board, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Will Tarter. I'm a homeowner and a resident of Broadview Heights, Ohio. I also am a proud graduate in 2001 of Charles F. Brush High School in Lyndhurst, Ohio. I went through the South Euclid Lyndhurst school system, including Roland Elementary, and my parents and my brother still live in South Euclid. I come to you tonight not representing any organization, nor any group, not even as a former South Euclid resident, but as a taxpayer in Cuyahoga County. And I read the pros and I read the cons in the recent Plain Dealer article. And I've been tracking this issue for several months now. Before I get into my position and how I arrived there, I want to say how much I appreciate the work that you do. I recently finished a term as an appointee to a county board, one that had dozens of meetings and public comment. And I know that it's not easy to serve on a public board, especially one with long hours and no pay. So it bears repeating that I appreciate the work that you do as public servants to Cuyahoga County. I also know that it's not easy to make tough decisions, especially when there are issues that are tough to make, issues that are tough to confront, where people are emotionally invested and may not take into account the financial choices that systems often have to make. With that said, I'd like to share with you why, after studying both sides of the issue, I feel it necessary to address you as a county taxpayer and urge you to keep the Telling Mansion as the home of the South Euclid Lyndhurst Library. Hold your applause, I'm sorry. There are two outstanding reasons. The first is proximity. The second is technology access. Simply from a logistics standpoint, I have found that the proximity to the junior high and the high school make the current location of the library much better than the proposed library building. I myself have used the library as an after-school resource, especially after Ms. Falkenberg's class. Additionally, it has been offered that the new building would lead to better fiber access and connectivity. In the recent Plain Dealer article, President Farley and the Executive Director Feldman, you specifically mentioned open access to information and technology, a reliable high-speed broadband connection, and materials and programs that support reading, a lifelong learning, and civic engagement. During the day, I often share about how historic buildings can be retrofitted with fiber optic access, the fastest internet available today. And I often speak about the fiber line that runs up and down Euclid Avenue, stretching from New York to Chicago, and how proximity to Euclid Avenue makes a huge difference in how much it costs to access that fiber line. And although I am not sure how the new library will connect to those fiber lines, I can tell you that geographically, the Telling Mansion is closer to Euclid Avenue. So it is possible that your cost of connectivity may increase because the new building is further from the fiber line that stretches along Euclid Avenue. When coupled with the fact that the new library is costing more for new construction than the renovation of the current building, simply the cost alone causes a high amount of concern for this taxpayer. In conclusion, I'd like to strongly consider that this board step back and work with the community to form a compromise, one that saves money for the taxpayers, continues to offer an education option in close proximity to the junior highs and high schools, as well as provides the latest access to technology and information both now and in the future, as well as fosters a lifelong commitment to civic engagement, much like myself. Thank you very much.
Woo!
I'll try here. My name's Linda Pagan. I'm a South Euclid resident, 684 Parkside Boulevard. I'm a former board president. I've been an administrator, a supervisor, a psychologist. I was a specialist in behavior from one ocean to the Mississippi River. I believe that boards often follow the direction and information they get from their exec. You've got an amazingly intelligent person who's been very good at getting your library rated very highly for a lot of years. But that rating, I've looked at the rating system, that rating has a large component of a popularity contest. And she's probably the best in the state of winning that contest. That's made her very influential throughout the state. I was kind of appalled to find that some of the blind spots.
Excuse me. Not to interrupt, but this is basically about the Telling Mansion, I would assume.
Yes.
It's public comment.
I was appalled to find that some of the blind spots that I see currently in this library system are throughout the state. One example would be noise. I think there's some avoidance of older children right now going on. Children get a little bit harder as the years go on. You can try to problem solve it, and that's not really hard to do, or you can try to run away from it. I think what you've done is run away from it. You're saying noise is good. You create little rooms for people who want it quiet. There are loads. You should look up the statistics on attention deficit disorder. Those little rooms are not going to handle the problem. There are other ways to handle the problem. You're running away from the kids. The former board members that sat where you now sit, they valued being near older kids who can access libraries on themselves. They don't need their parents. They valued being located in dense areas where the most people lived. These were not the most influential or the most wealthy, but this is where the majority of people lived. And I believe this board has lost those two values. When I first got into this, I called and I asked, when you set up your decisions on, because I got into this in terms of Mayfield first, when you set up your decisions, did you have a list of priorities? Did you weight your priorities or rank your priorities? I was told no. I said, well, how do you decide where you put a library? They said, well, we want to evenly space them out more. Geography became more important than the density of where people live and more important than the children. And I think something big is being lost there. I'm not following my script at all. You're not following your own mission, values, and there's something else in there, vision statements. I think you ought to reread that in terms of what you've done with the South Euclid Library. You said accessibility is really important. Then you put it on Mayfield Road, you put it on Green Road, where busing is either non-existent or very limited, and now we have a much bigger issue of accessibility. You know, there's what you say and what you do, and they're not syncing in this decision. They are not syncing together at all. You're also accidentally, I think, dumbing down the library. The popularity contest, fine, 40 to 45 or whatever the percentage is of your circulation is DVDs and CDs. Try to find something else.
Excuse me,
It's very
your
hard.
time's about to expire. If you want to sum up within the next 15 seconds, please.
By the way, most of your library staff don't want the bottom shelves filled because your pages don't like putting books on there. It has nothing to do with senior problems. Just give them a chair and they'll be fine.
Hi, I think I'll speak from here. I have a loud voice. And forgive me if I'm not overly polite tonight. My name is Tina Tricarci, and I'm a resident of Lyndhurst, Ohio. I've only spoken at one other board meeting of yours, and tonight probably is the most important time for me to speak. If I am at all repetitive, and I wasn't here for the first comments, to any other speakers tonight, it is not because I compared notes with them. I did not. It is because there are literally hundreds upon hundreds of residents of South Euclid and Lyndhurst that not only had no voice or input on the selling of Telling Mansion, but do not want the South Euclid Lyndhurst Library to be moved from Telling Mansion. Not to mention the other residents of Cuyahoga County who use the library but do not live in these two communities. For your information, this is not a situation where the citizens are saying, if you don't do it our way, we will take our ball and go home. We were excluded from the game to begin with.
Yes.
The vast majority of citizens do not want the library to move because this decision is irresponsible, financially negligent, illogical, and completely lacking in the concept of representative government. No, we did not elect you, but we elected the people that appoint you. And you certainly have a fiduciary duty to us in regards to the spending of our tax money and the preservation of our historical treasures. You have refused to take our opinion into account until after the decisions have been made, and you have refused to sit down at the table with us to see if there could be a compromise worked out. Someone else mentioned compromise tonight. Also, you've done this with some of our elected officials. You claim that one of, if not your most important goal, and a lot of people have mentioned this since I got here, is accessibility to your 28 branches. Well, in this instance and a few others around the county, you've succeeded in accomplishing the exact opposite of accessibility. In selling Telling Mansion and moving the library, if you wanted to make the South Euclid Lyndhurst Library less accessible to Lyndhurst residents, coupled with moving the Mayfield one way out Sound Center Road next to Lake County, you succeeded in making it less accessible. If you wanted to make the library less accessible to older students, high school or junior high school students, very young students are driven by their parents to libraries, not left to negotiate Green or Mayfield Road. You made it less accessible to them. If you wanted to make the library less accessible to non-drivers, non-car owners, you've succeeded, as no buses run on Green Road on weekends and none after 7 or 8 on weeknights. If you wanted to anger the county community with your various decisions, such that it may be very difficult, if not impossible, to pass future library levies, you succeeded. If you wanted to go against the stated goals of the new county government, many of you being appointed by this new county government, you have succeeded with your almost complete lack of transparency. When I first Googled the CCPL, and I'm almost finished, about a year ago, maybe you've changed it now, the only photo, the only one, was of Telling Mansion. You can brag about it when it helps you, but dismiss it when it doesn't. I am incredulous that you expect us to celebrate your 90th year of operation when what you're about to do is literally a travesty and a slap in the face to taxpayers.
Woo!
I'd like these to be presented for the minutes. Or put in the minutes. Do I give this to you?
Martha.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'll go. If I could, I need some helpers. I need six people. This is a love letter from South Euclid, Mayfield, and Lyndhurst.
Please state your name, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Diane Mullally, 4455 Monticello Boulevard, South Euclid, Ohio, 44143. We have 2 banners, yeah, there, and then another one. Need one more. This is artwork from the children in the community. Sorry, Mayfield Lights. Can somebody else help? From the community and Mayfield, Lyndhurst, South Euclid, and surrounding areas. And I'd like to give this to you as well. This is what you're deciding on. If I may read some of the comments that are on here. I mean, keep the library, keep the library, keep the library, keep the library. We love our library. We love our library. Sign if you love books. Quiet and peaceful time at the library. A porcelain museum would be stupid. And then we go on this side. Okay, that's just a signature. Who's the bozo who wants to sell telling? Quit clowning around, save telling mansion. Reading is believing, from a teen. People save the mansion. County board, are they listening? I hope we save the library. This is from Josie. Keep history history. Novel idea. Don't waste $12 million on a new unwanted building. 5 generations. Keep it open so my family can use it when I'm gone. It goes on and on.
These are mostly.
We love library, save signatures. Library gives us light. I love the library. Knowledge is power. And then we go on with Millionaire Row. Let's not lose this as a public place. All the homes on Millionaire Row turned into rooming houses, and then came the wrecking ball. We love telling. Tell the truth about telling. Library board told us lies, lies, lies. Do the right thing. Keep it a library. Save the mansion. Mona L. Save, this is really cute. Got the library part, but telling mansion, very beautiful. Mayfield Road, stay here. Can you dig it? Not a new one in South Euclid. We love telling.